Hello and welcome to another episode of Ins and Outs. I'm your show host, Andrew Botros. Today we are joined by some familiar faces from St. George Church. To my right, we've got Team Red with Bob, John and Michael. Welcome to the show, guys. And to my left, we've got Team Blue with Bish, Rebecca and Basim. Got them right. Awesome. This show is a trivia-based show with a range of biblical questions and general ability. Today's focus chapters from the Bible will be Acts chapter 25 and 26. Each correct question will yield you 10 points and each incorrect question will minus 10 points from your total score, and you'll both be starting off on 100 points each. Now we're going to be starting off with round 1 with 5 questions just for Team Red. Let's begin. How many days are in a leap year?
366.
That is correct. To what city did Festus go and discuss Paul's case to the chief priests?
Jerusalem?
That is correct. What shape has 8 sides?
Octagon?
That is correct. Iron Man, Spider-Man and Captain America belong to which franchise?
Marvel.
That is correct. Which king came to greet Festus in Caesarea?
Agrippa?
That is correct. Well done to Team Red, 150 points, full marks. Now on to Team Blue. 5 questions starting now. Which country do the cities of Perth, Adelaide and Brisbane belong to?
Is it Australia, Andrew?
That is correct. Very difficult question. Who did Paul appeal to during his trial with Festus?
Is it Caesar?
That is correct. Which shape has 6 sides?
Hexagon?
That is correct. Name 3 superheroes from the DC franchise.
Batman, Superman,
Flash.
That is correct. Who accompanied King Agrippa to Caesarea?
Festus.
That is incorrect. It's actually Bernus. So that concludes round 1. Team Red is on 150 points and Team Blue is on 130 points. Well done to both teams. We're now going to be starting round 2. 1 minute on the clock. Everyone's hands on the buzzers. Starting now. What gospel is read in the first hour of the Ekbeya? Number 6.
Is it John?
Correct. Who was the first person to propose that the sun was the center of the universe? Number 3.
Copernicus.
Incorrect. Galileo. King Agrippa said, "You almost persuade me to something." Number 4.
To be Christian.
Correct. How many cranial nerves are there? Is it number
12.
4? That is correct.
Nice.
The occipital lobe is primarily responsible for what? Number 2.
Vision?
That is correct. A restaurant has 175 blue chairs and 25 red chairs. The Prime Minister says restaurants can only operate at 50% capacity. How many chairs can the restaurant use? Number 6.
100?
That is correct. What did Festus, King Agrippa and Bernus say amongst themselves at the conclusion of St. Paul's trial? Number 6.
This man is not deserving of death.
That is correct. Maths question. Mina bought a bag of candy with 102 blue candies, 100 red candies and 94 green candies. How many candies are there in total?
296.
That is correct. What is 80 divided by 5? Number 4.
16.
Correct. Which country invented ice cream? Number 3.
China.
That is correct.
Oh.
What color do you get when you mix yellow and blue? Number 4.
Green.
That is correct. In which country was Shakespeare born? Number 3.
England.
That is correct. Who created Sherlock Holmes? Number 3.
Pass.
It's Arthur Conan Doyle. Incorrect. In Little Red Riding Hood, who does the wolf dress up as? Number 1.
Grandma.
That is correct. How many colors are there in a rainbow? Number 2.
6.
Incorrect. It's actually 7. And that concludes round 2. Team Red is on 160 points and Team Blue is on 210 points. Well done, guys. Round 3, true or false, hands on the buzzers, starting now. Jupiter has 79 moons. Number 3.
False.
Incorrect, it's true. Purple is a primary color. Number 4.
False.
Correct. St. Paul recounts the story of his conversion in Acts 26. Number 4.
True.
Correct. 3 is a prime number. Number 3.
True.
Correct. St. Luke wrote the Book of the Philippines. Number 4.
False.
Correct. St. Paul refused to be tried before Caesar. Number 4.
False.
Correct. NASA stands for National Aeronautics. Number 1. True. Correct. Exodus is the second book in the Bible. Number 6.
True.
Correct. A concave shape curves inward. Number 2.
True.
That is correct. And that's round 3 completed. Team Red is on 180 points and Team Blue is on 260 points. Well done, guys. Round number 4 is a testing your memory round. I'll be reading a passage on Saint Theognosta and you guys will just be answering the questions that will be following. Starting the passage now. Saint Theognosta was a contemporary of the righteous emperors Honorius and Arcadius. One day, an envoy came with gifts from the king of India to the two emperors. On their way back, they found that Theognosta was holding in her hand a book that she was reading. They seized her, took her back with them to their own country. She became the head of the king's attendants and his wives. One day, the son of the king fell sick with a grievous sickness. She held him in her arms and made over him the sign of the cross, and he recovered immediately. This report spread throughout the land, and since that day she was set free. Once the king went to war, there came to him thick clouds and fog. Knowing of the sign of the cross Saint Theognosta used to make, the king made the sign of the cross over the fog, and it cleared up. With the sign of the cross, he also vanquished his enemies. When the king returned from the war, he bowed down at the feet of the saint and asked her for the holy baptism. She told him that it was not for her to baptize. They sent the Emperor Honorius to inform him of their appearance of their faith and asked him to send a priest to baptize them. He sent them a priest who was a saintly anchorite, and he baptized them and gave them all the holy body and the blood of the Lord Christ. Saint Theognosta built a convent for herself and many virgins who desired the monastic life. The people in the king's city were converted and entered into the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ. Saint Theognosta rejoiced for all that happened, later departed, and in the convent she was surrounded by the virgins. Questions are starting now. Who were the two emperors at number 6?
Honorius and Arcadius.
Correct. Which country was Saint Theognosta number 4?
India.
Correct. What position did Saint Theognosta hold in the palace? Time's up. She was the head of the king's attendants and the wives. What did Saint Theognosta do when the king's son became ill? Number 4.
She held him in her arms and did the sign of the cross.
That's correct. What problem was the king faced with when he went to war? Number 4.
Clouds and fog and cloud.
That is correct. What did the king do when he faced number 2?
The sign of the cross.
Correct. How did the king know to do the sign of the cross? Number 2.
He copied Theognosta.
That's correct. What did the king do when he returned from the war? Number 4.
Asked to be baptized.
That's correct. What did the people do in the king's city? Number 4.
They all believed and converted.
Correct. What did Saint Theognosta decide to build? Number 4.
A convent.
Correct. And that's round 4 completed. Team Blue smashing the lead with 330 points, and Team Red slightly behind them on 200 points. Now round 5, 1 minute on the clock, free for all, hands on the buzzers. Psalm 20 is played as part of which hour in the Beya? Number 4.
Our first hour.
Incorrect, the 3rd hour. Where was St. Paul's trial before King Agrippa held? Number 6.
The auditorium.
That is correct. Is pH of 14 considered basic 2?
Basic.
Correct. What is the 3rd planet from the Sun? 4.
Earth.
Correct. How many continents are there? 3.
6.
Incorrect. 7. What is the shortest Bible verse in the New Testament? 2.
Jesus wept.
Correct. What are the 3 first numbers of pi? 3.
3.14.
Correct. Where was St. Paul known as St. Paul then? 4.
St. Paul of Tarsus. Tarsus.
Correct. He was asking about the location, which was Damascus. What is 35 minus 23 plus 11? 4.
23.
That is correct. It's wild. Mary had a pack of 35 crayons. She gave 6 to her friend Mariam and 12 to her other friend Maria. How many crayons does she have?
17.
Correct. The Starship Enterprise is a ship in what? 3.
Star Trek.
Correct. What instrument did King David play? 2.
The harp.
Correct. Sydney is to Australia as Venice is to 3.
Italy.
Correct. Which famous historical character said, "Let them eat cake"? Time's up. Marie Antoinette. Which dog breed is Queen Elizabeth known to be? 3.
Portuguese.
That is correct. And that brings us to the end of the show.
And the winner is...
That is very well. Thank you all for joining. Have a lovely day and God bless.